Good morning and welcome to this special Island Stats Sports Talk. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is the president of the Bermuda Football Association, Mr. Mark Wade. Mr. Wade, we've just witnessed the conclusion of the FIFA Congress. What were some of the things that kind of inspires you and our region that came out of this FIFA Congress?
So good afternoon. First of all, well, Congress is always interesting. This Congress was the end of a cycle, a 4-year cycle, obviously immediately after the World Cup. So we got the financial reports on the World Cup itself, and also, how well financially the World Cup did, and as well as obviously we talked about how well it did on the field of play as well. But some of the things that are interesting for Bermuda is the increased investment in development. So one of the programs is called the Talent Development Scheme, and Arsene Wenger would have reported on it. The FIFA president obviously touched on it in his address, but Arsene Wenger expanded on it, and that's where each country has the ability to apply for support to help one identify elite talent, and then also nurture it, and obviously to hopefully have it into your national teams and then performance on the field of play. So very interesting. We've already signed on to that, but it was good to hear that there's going to be increased financial support and program support in that. So that was interesting. It's always sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say for this particular talent development scheme, do they have a layout of, like a breakdown of when you recognize talent, how the investment should go, where, you know what I mean? Do they have all that in place for countries to go by, or is it just up to the country to decide and go step by step?
In the talent development scheme, you are given support in a number of areas, and each country will develop its own plan. So the steps that you mentioned, we will have developed with the support from FIFA, and we will decide on what elements we want to implement here in Bermuda. So it's not a cookie cutter solution. It's more bespoke and more designed for each country.
And I mean, I know all of this is probably still in its infancy stage of getting ready, but how do you see a committee set up to kind of identify? And when I say a committee, obviously, you want to be broad in how many people kind of ID talent, especially on the island.
Sure. I mean, we already have our high performance committee in place. So the talent development scheme is not new. What is new is the increased financial support and increased resources that's going to be added to it. So in Bermuda, we have our high performance team led by Maurice Lowe. And we have persons on there that help to make the program work.
Oh, okay, all right. So out of this Congress, what's the other big things, especially for the region? I know where the region is hosting the next FIFA World Cup, but what else is on the horizon for CONCACAF?
Well, that is it. From a FIFA perspective, that is it. That we will be hosting the next World Cup in 2026. So you can look forward to seeing a lot more activity within our region, with FIFA helping to establish what's needed, what developments needed in the different host cities, and as well as any sort of legacy projects that will be done within the region. The other thing that will benefit Bermuda is the increased investment in the women's game, which is also very important for us. our women's game is on the rise, and so having more investment, and I use the word investment because it's not just money. It's certainly is resources that become available to us.
Mm. Now, I heard the president's address to the Congress. One of the things he mentioned was he feels that we should be playing more football internationally. How does that fit into a already blockbuster schedule of league matches throughout the world? How does that work?
So yes, that is the belief, and certainly I agree with him that the more football we play, the better we will get.
Hmm.
But we do have to try and figure out how it fits in with us in an amateur football environment. One of the things that you would have heard him say is that there will be an under 17 World Cup every year now
Yeah.
instead of every other year. So that is going to be that's exciting, but also a challenge in terms of us in the amateur environment where we now have to figure out, where the players are going to come from and where the staff's going to come from within the amateur environment to play a World Cup every year.
Well, I guess you have to figure out how you qualify for that every year.
Yes.
And one of our biggest challenges is right now where how many teams do we have in the under 17 division locally? Because we're struggling for numbers because of
Yeah.
the
So
the
look,
our
locally,
abroad.
yeah, locally we have five teams, I believe, in our under 17 league. But we do have, I would say, in our elite player pool, which is everybody on island and off. We probably have about 40 players in our elite player pool,
Mm.
and so I think players is not the issue so much as staff is and funding for qualifying, and then obviously trying to reach our goal of making it to a World Cup.
Yeah, I mean that's an eye opener, and I guess a long sit down plan
Yes,
how we
yes.
address that early
Yeah, I
because
mean, we knew it was coming, so we started that sort of discussion at a high level. How do we do this? And if we do it, I'll be honest, to be frank, whether or not we do enter every year or do we stick with every other year?
mm, mm, I guess that'll be a big sit down decision of how
Yeah.
that
Yes.
works. Um, Infantino also discussed his 4 years in charge when he been officially, after taking over from SAP and then starting his 4 years in 2019 to 2022. Over those 4 years, those first 4 years, how would you rate the improvement of the overall FIFA? Because back in what was it, 2015, um, you know, the a bombshell.
Yes.
So, so
Well, I would say his first years in office were about repairing FIFA's image, whereas about putting in place structures that help to alleviate the opportunities for corruption. And I think FIFA has done a good job in those two areas. And I would say that his first few years in office, that's where the a lot of the work was done. In addition to that, it was making money available to countries. You would have heard him say in his speech that not too long ago, the total amount that countries got from FIFA was 250,000.
mm,
And when you look back on it now, where each country was getting 250,000 and FIFA's cash reserves were 1.5 billion, you think, there should have been a lot more investment into countries. And so what President Infantino and his administration have done has put that money in the hands of countries for development.
mm,
So that should continue. So that's another significant introduction to in his first few years in office.
mm. and clearly running unopposed reassured him that all the countries have faith in him to lead for another 4 years. As we know, it's not easy leading 211 nations, especially
No,
when.
it's not, but it is an endorsement of his performance in
Mhm,
his first term. So obviously, I think a lot of countries would have been hoping for it to continue. So
mhm. Now he met with. I saw that he met with UEFA um, to discuss, I guess the region. Did he have a chance to meet with CONCACAF, the CONCACAF nations, to discuss, ideas and get some feedback?
Well, actually, he was in Guatemala when CONCACAF had our when we had our Congress,
Oh,
and he was
okay.
in Guatemala then. So he attended the CONCACAF Congress, and he was able to meet with the CONCACAF Council in Guatemala.
Okay. All right. Well, that's encouraging that at least he's making, himself. Any chance he coming back here soon?
We'll see, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. We'll
Keep
see if
them
we
on
can
under,
convince
keep
him
them
to
on
do
under.
that.
Speaking of the CONCACAF Congress, what came out of the Congress? What with President Montagliani? What are they looking forward to? I know the World Cup is our big thing for 4 years, but what else is? I mean, because we have the Nations Cup, we have all these other regional things. So
Sure.
what is he saying for this region for the next 4 years?
Yeah, so President Montagliani was elected again unopposed as well. It's actually an emotional moment because he was very appreciative of the support given to him by the 41 nations. Um, what what's happening here in our region is women's World Cup qualifying. I'm not sorry, not women's World Cup, women's Gold Cup qualifying. So there
Hmm.
will be a women's Gold Cup for the first time, and the kickoff for the Women's Nations League. So that's huge here in our region. So we're looking forward to that, which will be very interesting. We have the Men's Gold Cup coming up this year. So I think it's June and July. So
Hmm.
that's all World Cup, which is the Gold Cup in this region. So those are the things that we're looking forward to now.
Uh, Now, obviously, FIFA want to make sure that funds are being handled in the right way. Um, what was the significant payout after the World Cup? Because I know it's never a secret that they make sure that all the countries who entered the World Cup, benefit from the World Cup itself. So, what was that financial investment?
So that obviously hasn't happened yet, and we don't know what the amount will be,
Mm.
but we have to once all of the revenues and expenses are sort of calculated, we'll then see what revenues we get down here in Bermuda.
Oh, okay. All right. So, obviously, we have a busy summer internationally. Um,
Absolutely.
Um, we start off next week Saturday at the National Sports Center. So, we have what is it, the under 23s, the under 17s, both men and boys and girls. Um,
Under 20 women.
yeah,
They'll be right after the match
right.
and then we have our under 14 challenge series as well, and
Mm,
then the road to the women's Gold Cup starts in the fall, as well as um, men's Nations League. So it's
yeah,
a very busy, a very busy year.
yeah.
But busy is good. Busy is good. We're playing football, so that's
Well, that's
important.
true. That's true. How do we plan to ensure that our best players are available for these tournaments?
Well, the one of the main things is reaching out to them early,
Mm,
and being able to be in constant contact. So I know that our coaches do have sort of regular touch points with them via Zoom, because as you know, we have a lot of players who are off island.
Mm-hmm.
We have a core group who are training on island, and then there are regular touch points via Zoom as well. Just keeping them in contact, getting them to understand the plans, and then buy into the vision.
Mm. Okay. All right. So currently you're off island. You'll be back for um, the Saturday match.
Yes.
Um, anything on the horizon from the Bermuda Football Association regarding Saturday's match? Tickets are on sale.
Yep. Tickets are on sale on GPass, all online. I'll take this opportunity to remind the fans there's no paying at the gate. You must have your ticket online, and you must get it through GPass. Obviously, anyone who has some challenges through technology, they can stop by the office, and the office will help them. We have VIP packages, we have grandstand packages, and we have special prices for seniors and youth. And we also have a group package as well. So there's enough out there that our fans can choose from the menu and come out and enjoy a good match. We are going to have a special performance from our the Gombe Council, which should be really exciting. What we've had a discussion with the entire Gombe Council about having Gombe ambassador all of our international matches at home. So this is gonna kick that off. So that'll be very exciting.
Okay. All right. So Saturday, what time do the gates open? Because the match is at 3.
Gates open at 1.
Okay.
So get there early Saturday afternoon. So those of you who need to make some work arrangements, please do. so that we can really make the National Sports Center and the Floyd Duffy Southfield Stadium a fortress for us. So
Sure.
I hope I got that right.
Yeah, you got it right. You got it right.
So yeah, let's make it a fortress for us. It's going to be a great thing. I mean, there's a lot happening in this month. Obviously our league ends. Our Premier League will be decided this weekend, and the following weekend our first division will be decided. But let's take a break for international football next Saturday.
Now we know there's roadworks going on around the National Sports Center currently. Where is parking? Is it going to be at the Arboretum or Cedar Bridge? What are we doing in that?
All right. So we'll have VIP parking and staff obviously parking inside the stadium. So there's parking right behind the hockey pitch through the Roberts Avenue entrance. There's also parking through the Frog Lane entrance as well. Bit of a walk, but through the Frog Lane entrance. That's going to be for VIP and staffing. For the fans, parking will be at the Arboretum, parking available at the BFA parking lot, and of course at Cedar Bridge. And I'm anticipating Cedar Bridge will have students out there raising money. So certainly think about that. Think about parking at Cedar Bridge to support them. So I think the parking is going to be pretty good. I think we have all the bases covered there.
Okay. All right. Well, safe journey back to Bermuda. Thank you for your time here today. Looking forward to more information coming out of FIFA and, of course, out of CONCACAF as the region prepares to host the world in 4 years' time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too. All right.
All right. Bye-bye.